Hello friends, welcome to the Jazz Ranch South. We're in North Carolina visiting our families down here, and I have a special video for you today. And what it is I'm going to challenge you to play every dominant seventh chord through the cycle of fifths in one octave. So that means you have to play within the 12 tones of one octave. And I'm going to show you how to do it, but you might want to try it out on your own before I give you the answer to this quiz. So here we go with the video now on seventh chords in one octave played through the cycle of fifths. Here we go. Okay, welcome to the Jazz Ranch South, and I have a little quiz for you to see if you can do this. It's an interesting challenge to play through the cycle of fifths in dominant seventh chords in one octave. Now, why do that? Well, it's a good little, fun little test, and if you can do it, then you really know your inversions, because you're going to be playing 2 root position chords, 4 first inversion chords, 3 second inversion chords, and 3 third inversion chords within one octave. And you're going to be playing all 12 seventh chords, dominant seventh chords, within one octave. So we want to review your cycle of fifths first. Make sure you understand that. So we'll give you a little review of that first. Here we go. So now I want to start out by referring to my book, Chapter 9, on chord progressions and the cycle of fifths. Now, one reason there's confusion about this is it's often called the circle of fifths, and it's often called the cycle of fourths. So it doesn't matter how you call it. You can call it the circle of fifths or the circle of fourths, or you can call it the cycle of fifths or the cycle or the circle of fifths. It doesn't matter, because a fifth is the same as a fourth. It depends on which direction you're going in. In other words, if you're ascending on the piano, a fourth is the same as descending on the piano by a fifth. The important thing to understand is that it has to do with tension and resolution, and it's what creates music, harmonically at least. So we have to understand, here's the circle, that the key of C, if you're in the key of C, the way to get there is to come from the key of G. So G7 is going to take us to C major. And then if we make C into a dominant seventh, it's going to take us to F major. That's the rule. So it goes around the circle in this way, from C to F to B flat to E flat to A flat to D flat, G flat, B, E, A, D. So you go in the direction counterclockwise from tension to resolution, and you're going in the direction of the flat keys, adding 1 flat at a time until you get down here to the, whether it be G flat or F sharp, you know, it changes here to the sharp keys on the bottom of it, and then it goes in this direction in the sharp keys, diminishing. So it increases in flats here up to the midpoint opposite of C, which is also the tritone, which is a fascinating concept, in which enharmonically it could be F sharp or G flat. So we go into, you know, so 1 flat, 2 flats, 3 flats, 4 flats, 5 flats, 6 flats, or 6 sharps, down to 5 sharps, down to 4 sharps, 3 sharps, 2 sharps, 1 sharp, no sharps or flats. So it's a perfect system, and it's 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, just like the 12 months of the year. All the things that are 12 in our system within our universe. So the 12 keys are in alignment with the 12 hours within the day and 12 hours in the night, day and night, the dichotomy of that. the 12 months of the year. A dozen is 12. Many things are 12. That's a magic number. And it's cosmic. Okay, now you've had the review of the cycle of fifths. We're going to start out, and you know that we start out with C7. It's going to resolve to F7. F7 is going to resolve to B flat 7. So we're going to be using just one octave, so from here to here. Those 12 notes, no doubling of the octave there. We're not going to use the octave. We're just going to use the 12 notes, and we're going to play all 12 seventh chords within that range. So, of course, C7 is going to be in root position. Now, when we go to F7, it's going to be here. Now, that's second inversion. How do we know that? Well, if you played it in root position there and inverted it first inversion, that would be second inversion. It would be the fifth on the bottom. Now we go to the B flat, it's going to be there, and that's first inversion. How do we know that? Because the third of the chord is on the bottom. See, so you have to analyze the inversion from the bottom note. It's not the root, but it could be the root, the third, the fifth, or the seventh of the chord. So E flat 7 would be there. Now what is that? That's the third inversion. Why? Because the flat 7 is on the bottom there. The A flat's tricky. It's there. It's the first inversion. A flat 7. D flat 7 now is in root position, right? That's the only one that's in the one that's in C7 that's in root position. G flat 7 is there. That's second inversion. It's got the fifth on the bottom. Resolves to C flat 7 or B7. We'll call it B7. Has the third on the bottom, so it's first inversion. Resolves to E7. Has the seventh on the bottom, so we'll call that third inversion. Resolves to A7. Has the third on the bottom, first inversion. Goes to D7, which is the third inversion. Has the seventh on the bottom. Goes to G7, which is second inversion. Has the fifth on the bottom. Goes to C7. Now that was pretty fast. So you want to go through these slowly and figure out the inversions. And it's written out for you, so you can learn it from the score first and then figure it out. Or you can figure it out on your own by ear or by looking at it. But you don't want to duplicate any notes. You want to keep within those 12 notes of the scale like this. So C7, F7, B flat 7, E flat 7, A flat 7, D flat 7, G flat 7, B7, E7, A7, D7, G7, and back to C7. Now, it's written out for you so you can use the score. Now, continuing, because this doesn't sound like much, playing it in your left hand, let's put a little melody to it in the right hand to make sense out of it. So like C7 wants to move to F7. So let's create a progression or a melodic line that relates to that progression of C7 resolving to an F7 and the F7 resolving to a B flat 7 and so on through the cycle. So what I did was I created this melody, arpeggiating the C7, starting on the root, 1, 3, 5, flat 7, resolving to the third of the F7, and then down the scale, resolving to the root. So it's arpeggiating, in other words, vertical movement, ascending, to horizontal movement, descending. So its vertical movement is skips, horizontal movement, descending, is stepwise, right down the scale. So then start again, and so on and so on. So you got it moving, right? Right? So let's do that. Right? It's a little challenging, actually. Now, there you have it. There's an exercise. If you can do that, you really know your chords and their inversions. And you can do this with major sevenths, minor sevenths, half diminished, and so on, and diminished. You can do this with any chord. Go through the cycle of fifths, create a little melody, So that's it. I'm going to leave you with that. If you can do that much, then I'll give you another exercise. And if you like this, write to me. Say you like this exercise. It was challenging and inventive and unique. I haven't seen anybody do this. Turn me on if somebody has. And see if it's beneficial to you in some way. Then I'll show you some more ideas, some more challenges. So thanks for watching, and here's the sign off. Okay, thanks so much for joining me today in this video about seventh chords played through the cycle of fifths in one octave. I hope you enjoyed this little exercise or a quiz. And until next time, I'll say in the great words of my friend upstairs, Hermie Dressel, swing loose, and we'll see you next time. And please write to me. See you then. Bye-bye.